Nice. Nice. I don't know. Something with my lips.
Sounds good. Let's try the next one.
Much better.
When exactly is next time?
Beauty. This is a little rig I put together just to hold this upright while riveting. It's just a block of 2x4 with some hot glue. Time to rivet a skin to the main spar. Sue's gun. Flush rivet. Just got this guy a nice rubber protector on the edge. We're shooting 3.5, 80, 426, 3 by 3.5 rivets. I'm actually gonna start from the center and work my way out. And this little rig I got here is just hot glue. And before I start, I'm gonna wrap some tape on my bucking bar here. Looks like we need to find another bucking bar for that guy. Well, I can't find a bucking bar for that guy quite yet, so I'm gonna move on to the other ones. Well, I gotta say the hot glue rig's holding up pretty good.
For crash investigators, time is even more critical than in a homicide investigation. At a homicide, officers can cordon off the crime scene and return to it later. Just one evidence found. But no one had seen this late-night crash. No one other than survivor Curtis Davison, and he was in no condition to make a statement. Crash homicide investigator Mike Walker had to rely on preliminary judgments based on the evidence he saw at the accident scene.
And what really struck me immediately was the passenger side of the vehicle was
Looks like I need a smaller diameter pipe. Okay, so I got these all bent up, and I got them match drilled and clecoed together. And I got them clecoed together with 332 clecos, even though the finish size of the AD41 ABS rivet 1/8 or number 30. So I have my reamer, and I'm probably going to ream oversize the number 40 holes that I've drilled, so we get a nice clean hole for the pop rivets going in. I know it was kind of tough to see what I was doing on camera. You can see the bends came out all right. It could have been better for sure. And I'm gonna hold off on riveting this guy together because I'm waiting for my seam rolling tool to show up. I have it ordered from Aircraft Spruce, but it's on back order, and I actually might change it up for the Cleveland tool, edge forming tool that's on vice grips. It just seems like it's a little bit better quality. So this project is almost finished. The only rivets I have left are these pop rivets once I get the seam edge roller. 12 more solids to put in. 3 here, and on the other side. And I'm sure you guys have all probably been in the same predicament where I need to make that 3/16 thin bucking bar that Vans told you to make in the plans. I just don't have any material kicking around, so I gotta get that made, and as soon as I do, we'll get these last 12 rivets taken care of. Well, here's the finished product, everyone. Isn't she a beauty? I want to run down a couple things just to go over some of the issues we ran into.
And seeing how we're resurrecting the practice flap video, these are the things that gave me the most issues. These last 3 rivets. I know we said we were going to use a chisel and maybe use that as a back riveting bar. I opted to cheat. Van says you can use these rivets for the last 2. I even went as far and I used it as the last 3. Don't do this in real life. And double check and make sure Van says it's okay to use pop rivets as the last couple. This is what they look like. The clearance is fairly tight. A lot nicer than trying to cram a bucking bar in there. Next thing, these corner rivets here. Let's see if I can get you a good shot. These guys right here. Don't forget to check the length on those rivets. That one right there. So notice that one looks okay. Get you a good shot of it. Check this one. Now I didn't bother drilling this out because I was lazy. There we go. That is overdone. That's overdone because I didn't put a long enough rivet in there. So I believe, I'm not 100%, all of these are 3s and that needs to be a 3.5. I'm not 100%, it's been a long time since I've looked at the plans. So watch out for that. Number 3, the front edge. My front edge, in my opinion, looks horrible. Some things you can do to make your life easier, I think, would be use your seaming tool, like the Cleveland vice grip style, on the leading edge prior to rolling at all. That'll put that nice crease in there and you will not have a disgusting waving edge like this. That would be a throwaway. If I built this, if this was my aileron, I'd be throwing the entire thing away if the leading edge looked like that. It's just gross. Another thing I would do is fix the flap surface to a table somehow while rolling it. So keep it clamped down in this attitude and then roll the skins back. That will ensure the roll is really starting at the nose and not at the root. And then you won't get this creasing. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a pretty good crease right on this side where the leading edge just folded right over the spar, and that's no good, and that almost, I think, would be a failure point. If there were to be a crack, I mean, it's going to form kind of right there, so that is no good. So by rolling from this edge back, if this was affixed somehow and we rolled backwards, theoretically no stress would have been put on the root of the skin, and that shouldn't have happened. For the trailing edge, it actually worked out really well. I don't know if you guys can see this, but let's kind of show it up on something dark. There is a slight curve to this. When you do this in real life, you're going to be bonding the edge with fuel sealant or something to that effect. And when you bond that, Cleco it to a piece of aluminum, which I've done on my rudder downstairs. That'll hold trailing edge dead straight. And then when you go to get the rivets in, it'll turn out well. Just in case you guys wanted an up close of the trailing edge rivets, this is the one side. And the underside. Couple other mistakes I can show you guys. If you look down this spar line, you'll see some raised rivets. Okay, poor dimpling and poor setting.
An example of a rivet you would want to drill out is this one right here. Notice how it's kind of two-stepped. It's flattened on two planes. Because this was a practice, I didn't bother drilling any of these out. Another thing you'll see here, and this is kind of cool, this is why I tape everything. Nose to my pneumatic squeezer. As it operates, it just scrapes the inside. So tape everything. Better on this practice than the real thing. That's it, everyone. Looks pretty good. It is what it is. It taught me a lot. I made a lot of mistakes on this that I wouldn't want to make on my horizontal and vertical stab and empennage kit and so forth. So cheap experience. Have fun building.